Yeah. That's the biggest threat we face on our aircraft, by far. All right. I guess it's not only happening to me, but it's
actually a tribute to her, but it's actually just not it. But it is a tribute. Her name is Stella. So she's my star, so I have a 10 years ago star.
So which clock is right? The one that says 10:32 or the one that says 10:28? All right, so I guess I don't need to do this then. All right. Welcome, everybody. It's wonderful to see your beautiful faces. Thank you all for coming. Especially thank you to our new guests. Thank you, darling. And I need my glasses.
Welcome to my world.
You know, I keep forgetting that I can't see without them. All right. Okay. So I'm Leila Bongiorno. Many of you have heard me say this many times. So what does my last name mean? Good day in Italian. So good day. So let's turn off our cell phones. And we're going to greet one another. Turn to your neighbor. Hugs, hellos, kisses on the cheek, whatever you like. All right, let's remember to welcome all of our Zoom attendees. So turn around and wave. Hello, Zoom. Please keep in mind that we are going out over the internet. So everything said here is in the web forever and ever and ever. Join us after the service, please. Stay, especially you new members, so we can get to know you. Definitely introduce yourselves. We're not going to make you stand up right now, but let us know who you are so we can come and say a special welcome. And also, something a little different for today, we are having our quarterly congregational meeting today after the service. So it's the service, snacks, and congregation, socialization, and congregational meeting. So committee moments, we have a number of ways to participate and lots of people who are helping out very significantly. They're working really hard. If any of these areas interest you and you'd like to participate on those committees, there they are. Have at it. Talk to them after the service.
Layla gave away my thunder, but we do have the quarterly meeting today. I think it'll be pretty expeditious because we don't have any big items to vote on. So please stay afterward. If you stay after, you'll be treated to cake because somebody I know in this room had a 25th wedding anniversary this week, which was me and Carl. So we brought in cake, but you only get cake if you stay for the meeting. So that's your incentive.
Hey guys, Derek, facilities, grounds, and seating surfaces. We had a small group come yesterday and cleaned up all the chairs and marked the ones that aren't safe to use anymore. We'll be getting rid of them. You might see a name on the back of a couple of them. That's because that member of the congregation is making a small donation to take that chair home with them. So, if you want one for some reason, let me know. And the new ones should be, they were supposed to come tomorrow, but they haven't got in contact with me yet. So stay tuned. Whatever you think it's worth.
Good morning, Kelly Buchanan with the Marketing Committee. Just a reminder that we're still selling our t-shirts, Side with Love t-shirts for $15. This year we actually have a V-neck for the women. It was for any, do what? For anybody that wants that style. That's right. So there was a lot of women that actually suggested this particular style shirt. I think Louisa and Lorraine. So we got this particular a shirt for you, so thank you. I do want to say that if you're not familiar with the Side of Love, words do have meaning, and I just kind of want you to understand that when you wear this shirt, what you're wearing and why you're wearing it and what the words really mean. So again, there's history behind this, and it started in 2008. I'm not going to go into all the details, but there was a UU church in Knoxville, Tennessee in 2008. A very tragic accident happened where someone came into the particular church with a guitar case. And anyhow, there was an event that happened. So besides all of that, what came out of that was our UUA actually then decided to confront some of these issues. We have 4 initiatives. One is the LGBTQ, another one is decriminalization. We have climate justice and others. So when we wear these shirts together, we show up in solidarity, and we're going to do that with the Pride Parade. So again, words have meaning. Side of Love t-shirts. If you want to order one, please come and see me. Thank you.
Hello, Tay with RE. I just wanted to let our parents know, especially the parents of our littlest UU classroom, we do have a candidate who will be shadowing me in the classroom today. If you would like to come back and meet her, and if you have any questions or anything for me or her, just come back after service, right before quarterly, or when you're signing in quickly. But just wanted to let you guys know and give you guys the heads up that we do have a candidate shadowing today for littlest UU.
Hi, I'm Janet, and I'm happy to say we have our next New Inquiring Minds meeting on September 7th at 9 a.m. This is our discussion group, and the topic will be open mic, so I hope to see you there.
Good morning. Chris and Chloe. We're here representing our youth group. We have kind of taken the summer off, but we are going to start up again. We usually meet on Sundays about 12:15 to give people a chance to maybe get some lunch. from 12:15 to 1:45. The D&D group meets at 2, and often many of the youth like to also attend D&D, so we tried to coordinate with that. We're not going to start next Sunday because next weekend is Labor Day weekend, so we thought that might be tricky.
Yeah.
So we'll start the following Sunday. Youth from 12 to 18 are welcome. We talk, play games, eat snacks.
Have fun.
Yeah. And so you are more than welcome. Hope to see some of you there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Marianne with Pastoral Care. I want to thank everyone who signed up to help us at the Opportunity Fest. It was wonderful. I do still have the sign-up sheet if there's any of you who would like to join us. And just a reminder, we do have the basket sitting over here that has cards. And if you'd like to send a card to one of our members, write it out. Just put their name on the front. We'll put the address and a stamp and send it off for you. So it's just a nice way to really share your feelings and side with love. Thank you.
I've been the recipient of one of those cards, and let me tell you, it really touches your heart to get one. Okay. Opening words. So our service today is about learning from mistakes. And I have lots of opportunities to do that. Today's words are from Winston Churchill, and he said, "All men make mistakes, but only wise men learn from their mistakes. It is a mistake to look too far ahead. Only one link of the chain of destiny can be handled at a time." So for those of us who attempt to do way too much in our lives, you might think about that. All right, opening music. The song is Spirit of Life, hymn number 123. Mallory is playing. Oh, Janet's playing. Okay. Oh, Mallory's, oh, okay, did not know that. And Paula is leading.
So we're going to stand as we may. You may sit if that's what works for you best. And we're going to sing it through twice because it's just a short song, and we like it. Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Thank you. You sound real pretty up here.
That's one of the blessings of being up here. As a service leader, you get to hear everything. Chase! How you doing, buddy? Chase is our service leader. He's chalice lighter. They sound alike, right? He is a very experienced chalice lighter. And so, whoops, come on. Okay. Uh-oh, let's try again. There you go, that ought to do her. Oh, good job, thank you. Please join us in unison. Light of truth and the warmth of love we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Join me, please, as we recite our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This great covenant to dwell together in peace and seek the truth and love and to help one another. So now it's time for joys and concerns. And I just want to reiterate that we are going out on the net. So be careful to say only the things you want the whole world to know. The lovely thing about joys and concerns is that joys are multiplied while sorrows are diluted. So, and I know what they're going to say.
Hi, Alyssa and Chloe. We're engaged. This past weekend, we were up in the mountains in the Carolinas, and I had a plan to propose to Chloe that I had been hatching. Little did I know she also had a plan, and we got to the spot, and she got on one knee and said, "I'm going first." So it was a double proposal. We proposed to each other.
It was just a fun time because I knew that I was getting proposed to, but she didn't. So I at least got
caught.
Joey here. My husband's been in the hospital for the past week. He was hospitalized for pneumonia. We thought at first it was a stroke. It was not. It was pneumonia. So at any rate, he's back. He got back yesterday and somehow managed in 1 hour that I was at the cafeteria to lose his phone. We have no idea. We checked the soiled, the soiled bedding thing, trying to ring it, and so who knows. But I'm about to get a new phone. Just wanted to let you know for him.
My joy is that yesterday my mom's is going to go scrapbooking soon, and she gave me my own little scrapbooking kit for like beginners. And then I started decorating, and then I actually found a picture so I could put it in the scrapbook. It's of my friend.
Where do we begin? Carl and Ann Packham. What are we going to talk about?
Well, our girls. We already mentioned our anniversary, so that was 25 years. That was this week. So, but no, we got Amelia successfully moved into Washington, D.C. last weekend. She's loving her job. She figured out the bus to get there on the first day, despite all of the police presence in the city. So she's doing great. And Olivia, as you know, moved a couple weeks ago to Ann Arbor. She's loving her job, got her first paycheck. So they are officially adulting. Although, interestingly, I listened to a New York Times article or something while I was on the Peloton this morning about, how our society equates working as like our measure of success and adulting. And then I thought, but they are both interested in going to the UU Church. They're getting involved in their community. So it's actually community that really is the epitome of adulting, as far as I'm concerned. So, anything else?
Yeah. So girls, I know one of you's watching. Yeah, 3,500 miles of driving over a month. You're more than welcome. Funny thing about the cake that we bought, we went and picked it up this morning, and I thought it was a cake for the quarterly meeting. So when it was handed to me, I looked down and oh, I didn't forget the anniversary. Did I?
No.
My joy is I went to work today with my dad, and I stacked up the chairs, and Dad was fixing the chairs, and the chairs got broke.
Lindsay Stroh. I learned that my daughter-in-law in Virginia has found a new job. She lost her other job because it was an organization that supported USAID, and so her job and her coworkers' jobs ended. But she does have a new job, I'm glad to say. My Unitarian friend in Maryland, Travis Harden, passed away this week and died peacefully in his sleep by choice, and I respect his decision as he was finding out whether he had to go into memory care and wasn't ready for that. But he was in his late 80s and had a good life.
My joy is that yesterday I went to a birthday party and I got this. And I can also and also it's about to be my sister's birthday. Eva.
My name is John Saccone, and I wanted to thank Joey Cool, who took me for my successful stent operation early in the month. And I had stents put in. It was a happy beginning because I feel like I'm more energized. So I just wanted to share a positive thing with you, and thank you for your positivity.
Well, I'm Melanie. So this is about my oldest son, Christopher. He is back in Champaign, Illinois, going to the University of Illinois. He does have a tough course this semester, differential equations that he has attempted before but had to drop. Yeah, that's hard stuff. So, if like throughout the semester, if you think of him, send him some good math, differential equations. I don't even know what that looks like because I'm not a math person. Despite doing the treasurer, I mean, I can do that, but don't ask me to do differential equations because I don't understand. Yeah, I don't do engineering, physics, and symbols, and the Greek letters and all that when it comes to math. And anyway, yeah, I can do that. So anyway, just throughout the semester, which ends sometime in the middle of December, off and on, if you think of him, just send him some good energy about understanding the material and passing the class. So thank you.
Thank you to everyone who shared. Let's just take a moment of silence to let that sink in and to support those who did not speak. Okay. Next up, Time for All Ages. Our children's religious educator, Tay, will be here for a fun lesson. I hope it's nice.
Hi, everyone. Today for Time for All Ages, I've decided to include a video of my juggling journey. I want to preface this by saying the only experience I have had with juggling before this is one day in 4th grade gymnastics camp, where I truly think they ran out of ideas to keep us occupied. My original idea was to practice every day for a month and film the progress, but my schedule didn't permit that. So the video shows 3 days worth of practice out of my week-long crash course into juggling. So. That was my cat, very interested in it. Back to 1. Back to 1 again. So why did I show this video? I can promise you it was not to showcase my video taking skills. I can also say it was not to show the less than stellar lighting that is in my apartment. And as much as I love showcasing my book collection and my cats, that's not the reason I showed it either. The reason I showed you all this video is because I wanted to show you it is okay to fail. The idea of being successful is so ingrained in us that we become scared when faced with the prospect of not being good at something. We become afraid of looking silly or uneducated or unprepared, that it holds us back from trying new things. But as you can see in the video, failing can be fun. Throughout the video, which movie made me look a lot more competent than I actually was by the end, you see me laughing or smiling, and I heard laughs and I saw smiles throughout y'all too. And while y'all were watching, oh, I already said that. It takes courage to show yourself not at your best. Letting yourself be open to failure allows us to learn new things, get better at new skills, and allow us to improve on what we already know. And I think that is something we should all aim for in life. And if you're wondering where I am with my juggling journey, I will show very briefly a live demonstration. So I can consistently do 2 balls. I'm going to say I'm going to drop it, of course, but so. Get that out of the way. Got that out of the way. So I can consistently do that. I can less consistently do 3 balls. So let's see. Less consistent, but can get there. And even less consistently than that, I can keep the chain going. Which that happened only like twice last night. So that's where I am at, and I still do need to practice, but thank you all.
Thank you, Tay. That was really special. All right. We are now in our time of interlude. We're going to be singing We Would Be One. Janet is leading. I just want to make mention that we are a very generous congregation, and part of the offering will be going to, please somebody tell me, because Hope Community, sorry about that. And I also want to remind you that today we'll be delivering the donated food to Knights, UCF Knights Pantry.
Yes. Okay, it turns out Mallory is sick, so Janet is playing piano, and I'm substituting for her. We would be one as now we join in singing a hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause, our greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other, to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which bends our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice strive to make us free.
Thank you, Gary. All right, let us sing our congregation out, our children out. I don't know what's going on with my mouth today, but anyway, it's talking about learning from your mistakes. We love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. Today we have speaker, Natalie Briscoe. Natalie is a very accomplished religious leader. She works in the southern and Pacific Western regions for UU. She is the recipient of the Norma Verdon Award for Outstanding Religious Service in RE, and the Ruth Clark Award for Excellence in Service to Unitarian Universalism. Thank you for speaking with us. Welcome.
Thank you all so much for having me here today. Wow, what a packed and lively house. So, excuse me, I am recovering from a sinus infection, so I am sniffly and dry, and I will do my best. It's all we can ever do, right? Showing up fully human. My name is Natalie Briscoe. I am from and live currently in Austin, Texas. I'm the lead for the southern region of your UUA, serving in the Congregational Life Department. And it is a real honor to be with you today talking about our shared stories and our shared history and all those human things that go along with it. And when I was thinking deeply about what would be pertinent to bring to you, the thoughts that are written on my heart, and how I don't take this invitation to your faith home lightly at all, being that I'm from far away and I'm pretty much a stranger, I thought to myself, you know, what we should really talk about today is the England church in the 1600s. I know that sounds super exciting. And I promise it's a little more exciting than it seems. So we're going to take that journey way on back to frame some of the topics in the discourse that we're talking about in Unitarian Universalism today. And you know, maybe, possibly, a glance into our shared future. Because, you know, as William Faulkner famously said, the past isn't dead, it isn't even past. And all of our free churches are built on the foundation of earlier free churches, even though we like to sometimes think we magicked this up. And we can draw a lot of wisdom from them and the way that they were formed, and see our UU culture reflected back to us today in the way that it was back then. So, what in the world was going on in England in the 1600s that matters? Well, a lot. The Reformation. That's right. That big old Protestant Reformation. Or the Protestant Rebellion, depending on who you ask, right? With all its innovation and excitement and often violence, and honestly, I could spend hours just recounting stories of the folks who risked and gave their lives to writing those important and blasphemous Unitarian works back then. But for now, we'll only mention the fact that there were many of our ancestors then to whom we owe our presence here today. And in addition to these leaders, these folks who wrote books and gave illegal lectures and took pulpits that were not theirs and spoke on the errors of the Trinity, as they would have said in the time, there were regular folks too. Just folks like us who wanted to explore this idea, who wanted to talk about, well, I know that you've said this like my whole life, but I read this thing that is now accessible to me, and it's very, very different from what you're saying. I really want to explore how these ideas that I'm having are pertinent to our church, to our congregation, to our lives today. But in all honesty, I have to tell you that many of the writings of the time, the historical accounts, say that folks were just really bored. They were bored with the sermons. They were bored with the lectionary. They'd heard this. They wanted something exciting and new. I mean, all this religious thought was happening all around them, and they got to go, listen to the same old sermons. They wanted to figure out, why isn't the Spirit moving me? In all places, church. Isn't that where we go to feel that holy movement? Why am I so bored? Why don't I feel connected to this? Why don't I feel connected to each other? Why can't we get some rockin' and rollin' going here? But this thing in England in the 1600s called religious innovation was actually against the law. So, you could go to jail for just having an original thought about the Spirit or the Holy or how the congregation should be organized. And first, people tried to gather at their home over dinners with their friends, right? They wanted to go to their cousin's house and just talk about these ideas that they were having. They wanted to talk about Unitarianism, about this God, this one God that they experienced, the one that could move them when the Spirit felt near. Basically, they wanted a small group ministry or a supper church. That's what they were doing. But the bishops, backed by the government, they didn't like that so much. So they said, no, you can't do that. Please, no. So they instituted a curfew. You can't go to each other's homes, even if you say, oh, we're just swapping meatloaf recipes. No, they didn't believe you. They made you go home at 7 o'clock in the evening. Congregants also started to want to go to different parishes. We have this long tradition of going to other Unitarian Universalist churches, hearing speakers, listening to the different ideas. We have this plethora, this multitude of spiritual ideas that we have access to. And of course, the bishops don't like that. You should listen to me. I'm your bishop. So then they made it illegal to go to different congregations. You have to stay in your own home parish. So to get around this, folks decided to do what they called lectureships, which was some good old-fashioned street preaching. They would just write up their ideas, and go out on the corner, and start yelling about it. I think that, in some cases, we can see that in modern days too, even though we are sometimes not so prone to do that. And so, as soon as those popped up, bishops squashed. Nope, stop. We got to stop that immediately. So finally, folks just started hanging around after church. They started listening to the sermon and then congregating on the lawn or the courtyard in the church and just having a little chat about what they heard, what they saw, their ideas, how it pertains to their life, sometimes over a hot beverage. But then the bishops, of course, they don't want us talking to each other. They don't want us getting these wild Unitarian ideas flying around. They just want to be able to tell us what to think. So they said, everybody go home. They outlawed what they called gadding about. That's what that was called when you congregated and gadding about. That is right, my good Unitarian Universalist siblings. These bishops in England in the 1600s outlawed coffee hour. Our holiest of sacraments. And when I read this story of the trials that they went through just trying to have a conversation with each other, I like to think that outlawing coffee hour was like the final straw. That's it. We will never be in a situation where we cannot exercise our freedom to talk over coffee ever again. I know that's probably not exactly how that happened, but history is what you make it, and that's the story I like to tell. So there were a bunch of people who wanted to do it a different way, yet they were thwarted at every turn. Every time they tried to gather, every time they tried to have a free exchange of ideas, they were pushed down, squashed, told no, absolutely not. And this is the point at which the free church movement in North America really took hold, because somewhere in England, and no one knows exactly where, they think it was a group of lawyers and wealthy landowners. This little group of lay people, they got fed up with all this junk, and they came up with this solution called the Massachusetts Bay Company. And they got a charter from the king, and they were a corporation. So it got around this idea that they were controlled, their ideas were controlled by the state, because a corporation, by law, could operate as they see fit. But we know that the Mass Bay Company never intended to be this corporation. They didn't, produce anything. They weren't loggers or silversmiths. Their intention was to set up a colony with an independent government far enough away from London that they couldn't be bothered or checked in on, where they could have all the discussions and all the coffee hour they could want. In other words, they may have had 99 problems, but those bishops weren't going to be one anymore. So to make a long story short, too late, when this new society set about writing their governmental documents, their governing documents, how they would be organized in this new colony, they came up with this thing that they called the Cambridge Platform of 1648. This is the organizing document that Unitarian Universalists still use. We are still organized under the Cambridge Platform of 1648. And it's important to think how much folks risked to be able to write that. How much was given up and sacrificed for us to have these documents. Now, you can read the Cambridge Platform online. The whole text is there if you Google it. It is beautiful and heartbreaking, and at its best, a yearning for a deeper relationship with one another, one where a communion of ideas could really occur. It is also god-awful boring. It's written in the 1600s, so it is really thick. It is really hard to get through. It's like reading your cell phone warranty. But if you want to go for it, you go for it if that's the kind of thing that you like. Wasn't my cup of tea, but I'm going to just highlight a few of the big points here, so maybe you don't have to. The first thing the Cambridge Platform institutionalized and formalized was the free church, of course. Right, that's what we're here to do. Our ancestors wrote in that document that there is no higher authority than the individual congregation. They firmly believed in our freedom to govern ourselves, to choose our own leaders, to ordain our own clergy, and to serve as we found local need. So the first thread that we're following from the past and into the present is our congregational polity and our insistence and defense of the free church. And unfortunately, I have to say, I think that is particularly important today. Outside forces are particularly targeting ideas such as ours, freedom such as ours, trying once again to silence and erase us, silence those of us who would have a free, authentic expression of humanity rooted in our ability to express ourselves and our own beliefs. And so, in our UUA and in our member congregations, we are staunch in the defense of the free church that was set up in the Cambridge Platform in 1648. We uphold those values of unwavering freedom, and some might say we even have the justification and the duty to protect that freedom as the moral compass of society today in our present circumstances. And we're really proud of that part, right? We're really proud of that part of the Cambridge Platform that says, you can't tell me what to do. You can't come in here and just wave around and say, oh, well, you can't do coffee hour anymore. No, we don't have that anymore. We keep that promise that our ancestors made about our own personal freedom. And yet, our ancestors knew to turn on Spider-Man, that with great freedom comes great responsibility. The second thread that we're tracking here from our history to the present is that our spiritual and religious practice of making covenants or our sacred promises to one another, the Cambridge Platform sets that up as a relationship between the free churches, that we are also bound together through mutual support in innumerable ways. Unitarian Universalism is a covenantal and not a creedal faith, And we don't require a statement of belief for you to join with us, but we do ask that there is a set of agreements, a set of principles that you can say, yes, I can affirm those, and I agree that that is a good way to be with one another, to manifest this community, this beloved community of the Free Church that we are looking so desperately to create. I know that you have a congregational covenant. Many of your small groups have a covenant. Yesterday we worked on the board's covenant. But the most common one that you probably know is the covenant of the 7 principles. That's our way of recognizing one another as Unitarian Universalist congregations, engaging in mission together, and working for the transformation of society toward our goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. And in case there was any doubt, yes, the covenant of the 7 principles still very much exists. When congregations are asked to, when congregations apply to become member congregations of the UUA, they are still asked to affirm and promote the 7 principles as a condition of membership into our UUA. And just so you know, this group in Cambridge, that wrote the Cambridge Platform in 1648 that formed this society, there was about 30 of them at the time. And today, still, just as a fun traditional fact, today still it takes 30 folks to make a congregation. So that's still our benchmark. So as a congregation, we come together to find truth and do work that we can't do alone. We promise those 7 things to each other that speak to our ultimate loyalties, to how we will be when we're together and the changes we seek in the world. So we have our ancestors striking out to build a society rooted in both freedom and commitment, which brings us to this little church in Dedham, Massachusetts. And by a series of cottage meetings, about 30 folks or so, they formed their free church, holding the principles of freedom and commitment as a path to holy love. They set about to create a society that would eventually become that covenant of the 7 principles. But they wrote these words into their covenant, which are so familiar to us now, which you say a version of every Sunday. Love is the spirit of our church. The original words are, love is the doctrine of this church. Doctrine means central teaching. So what they meant was, in all we do, in all we say, in all we teach, in all we are with one another, let there be love. Let us lead with love. We are here together as a people to decide and figure out, to discern with one another, how we can bring more of that love into the world. And our ancestors believed, as I continue to believe today, that the central teaching of our free and covenantal faith has and always will be love in its various forms: compassion, caring, empathy, justice, courage, generosity, and all of the ways that we experience that. It always has been at the center of our congregations. The Article 2 Study Commission spent 5 years discerning this amongst our congregations. They did a values process with hundreds and hundreds of congregations in the association and found that the most commonly held value among us was love, putting love at the center. This, to me, is a call for a return to those commitments that we made, that our ancestors made. And again, today I find this call more important than ever: to fight hate with love, to fight fear with compassion, to fight despair with hope. And I can't think of a more important ministry in the world right now. So we tracked 3 threads. 1, we are an organization of free churches. 2, we are a covenantal, not a creedal faith. And 3, love is at the center of our congregations. And in today's world, our presence is critical and life-saving and a guiding moral force that this world so desperately needs. These three anchors of our faith tradition call us into the future. There will never be a time when freedom, community, and love aren't needed. As time rolls on, I think it's needed more and more. Our ancestors charged us with the goal of a world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. 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 We are the people on the side of love. We are here to be the beloved community. Each one of you, every one of you, is needed to accomplish that. Unitarian Universalism needs University UU Fellowship, needs you, and the world needs Unitarian Universalism. If you were waiting for a great mandate from me today, here it is. You matter. University UU matters. And together we can, together we must, and together we will. This is my prayer. Amen, and blessed be.
Thank you very much, Natalie. Well. The supernatural at work. Of commitment. These we carry in our hearts till we again. One more step, hymn number 168. Martha is leading.
Yeah. I'm going to be on the chase. Morning. Please rise in body or spirit. This is a familiar hymn, and one more step. That's all we can do every day towards beloved community. Verses 1, 2, and 4. You said that.
One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us and everyone. Take one more step, one more word, we will say one more word, till every word is heard by everyone. We'll say one more word, one more song. We will sing one more song. Every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Martha. Our closing words today are from Nelson Mandela, short and sweet. Yeah, I like him too. He said, "I never lose. Either I win or I learn." All right. So do we have a postlude today? No. All right then. So let's gad about. What's that?
So we're going to try to convene in